Tough night for me betting wise. I try to get it right, but we lost. I don't want to dive too much into that. I'll just talk about the results of every fight. Our underdog, one of our underdogs did hit, so we're now 3-3 on underdogs of the nights. We tried to sit there and do two underdogs, got greedy. We got the first one in Daniel Marcos. He beat Simon Oliveira, second round KO. He was just too much for Oliveira. He had nothing on the feet. And obviously, we'll get late. We'll get on to the next underdog that we didn't get. But next fight was Jose Nunez versus Zara. Jose Nunez got the decision victory. No, Nicholas Dalby versus Worley Alves. Nicholas Dalby got the decision victory. Next fight was Ismail Bonfim versus Terrence McKinney. And Ismail Bonfim got the finish by flying knee over Terrence McKinney. Um, Next fight was Cody Stamann versus Luan Lacerda. And that fight really pissed me off because had Luan Lacerda, integrated the takedowns earlier, the fight could have gone a lot different for him. So I'm not sure why he did that, but I guess because he trained with Jose Aldo, he thought he was a Muay Thai striker or something. Typical low fight IQ from BJJ fighters nowadays. Next up we had Jalton Almeida versus Shamil. And Jalton, he was just too dominant. Like everybody knew, he was a minus 900 favorite for a reason. He just took him down, pretty much controlled him, was very patient, and got a second round TKO on the ground. And then next up after that, we had Gabriel Bonfim, the second Bonfim brother, to get a finish. So the Bonfim brothers had a great night, but he got a finish over Munir Lazez by a first round submission. So that was super impressive. The Bonfim brothers definitely was impressive for the night. Then we had Thiago Santos versus Mikizial Costa, and Moises was just too much for Costa. Like I said, you're not going to beat Thiago Moises on a short notice. It's just not going to happen. Next up, we had Gregory RoboCop Rodriguez versus Bruno Ferreira, and of course, Gregory Rodriguez goes out there and has to be that one guy on the card that has no business losing a fight. He goes out there and gets absolutely KO'd. That'll be the last time I ever trust RoboCop ever again. The only thing I like about him is his nickname, RoboCop. I might steal the nickname myself. But yeah, he got absolutely flatlined, and that's probably what happens when you take a fight after getting brutally, getting your head split to the skull a couple months ago. So very dumb decision by him, and he paid the price for it. He got himself knocked out. Then we had Ihor Peteria versus Mauricio Shogun Rua. Obviously, anybody that thought that Shogun Rua had a chance in that fight is just dumb. This is what the UFC does. They did the same thing with Frankie Edgar versus Chris Gutierrez. They're gonna make the legends fight until they can't fight anymore, and then they're gonna put a young up and coming talent versus the old guy. The young up and coming talent is gonna put the old guy out, and they're gonna ride off into the sunset with no health insurance and just nothing from the UFC. So that's another topic for another day, but that's how they do it, man. That's the business of the UFC. On to the main card, we had Johnny Walker versus Paul Craig, and just another BJJ guy that's just absolutely an idiot, just super, super stupid. Paul Craig is one of the worst fighters in the UFC, and I'm gonna really start going in on these BJJ fighters because why go in the cage? Like, why be a fighter? You know what I'm saying? It's better off you're just a BJJ competitor and you compete in grappling tournaments, because going into the octagon with such a low fight IQ and such a retarded game plan, it's not worth it. You're going to get yourself hurt. He walks out there, doesn't attempt any takedowns at all, is on his feet, barely throwing any strikes. And then when Johnny Walker throws a kick, Paul Craig catches the kick, and instead of instantly trying to drive for a takedown and instantly trip on the back foot, he just kind of try to walk him back to the cage and just gets knocked out and gets finished. So just another idiotic game plan. Like the other day, I think it was like last week, Damon, I'm forgetting his name, Damon something. He went against Dan Ige, the guy that fought Dan Ige. I forgot his name. I don't know why. I think it's Damon something. But he ended up getting finished because he just didn't try to shoot any takedowns. He stood on his foot. He stood on his feet and tried to have a kickboxing match with Dan Ige. You're not. And you know what? For the sake of it, I'm gonna actually look up who it was because I want to remember what his name is. It's Damon something. I gotta look up the name of him right now. Damon Jackson. There it is. Damon Jackson. Very, very, very low IQ fighter. Just another BJJ guy that's just pretty stupid. Like, yo, if you're a BJJ guy, implement your game plan immediately. There's no reason for you to be on the feet. You don't need to show anything else but that. Get to it right away, or you're just gonna get yourself knocked out. So yeah, that's just a little rant. These BJJ fighters been pissing me off nowadays, man. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what the hell been going on. How about Dan Hooker versus Claudio Puelles? He's gonna butt scoop to try to. I don't know, man. It's bad with BJJ fighters now, man. It's super bad with them nowadays. But next up we had Jessica Andrade versus Lauren Murphy, and she just beat her up from round 1 to round 3. Lauren Murphy had absolutely nothing. Anytime she fights any type of competitor or any type of competition that's not some random girl or that's not, just somebody random, she just gets dominated. She got absolutely dominated. But I do give Lauren Murphy credit because she was trying to get a takedown and she just couldn't get it. Jessica Andrade is too good. She only loses to former champions, so like in the past couple of years, so that's all right. Gilbert Burns versus Neil Magny, super domination. Gilbert Burns literally went out there, got a first round submission. He didn't even get touched at all. And yeah, Gilbert Burns deserves somebody ahead of him, like for sure. It's either, I don't care who it is, but he doesn't need to be fighting anybody else behind him. He took a big risk by fighting ranked number 12 when he's ranked 5. He really should be ranked 4, but they put Bilal Muhammad over him because he beat Sean Brady. So that's just the way how it's going right now. In the welterweight rankings, next up we had Davison Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno, and yeah, it was a sweep for Brandon Moreno. For some reason, the judges gave. This is how insane the judges are, and I don't know if it's going to be a talking topic, but maybe it will. The judges actually had the audacity to give Davison Figueiredo the second round, and I picked Davison Figueiredo to win. I thought he was going to be able to win. I thought the power was going to be too much. I thought he was going to be locked in and focused, but for some odd reason, the judges gave Davison Figueiredo the second round. I'm not sure if it's because of the takedown he got, maybe, but was that enough to win in the round? Definitely not. But hey, it's all good. Moreno got the finish. Doctor stoppage. There was no need to go to the judges' scorecards because it would have been an absolute mess. The judges are a literal joke. They need to be fired. They got to start firing judges. But that's the only thing I can think of. And last but not least, the main event, we had Jamahal Hill versus Glover Teixeira, and it was pretty much a clean sweep. I think Glover had maybe like one good shot that landed. He was there. He was in the fight. He had his slight moments, but Jamahal Hill just pretty much, he took over the whole fight, and he impressed everybody because even I thought that Jamahal Hill was going to end up losing the fight because of the wrestling, but he defended like 15 takedowns, and it's, that's why you can't play MMA math. You have to be careful. I'm going to be more careful with that going forward because I figured that if Thiago Santos could take down Jamahal Hill that many times, I was sure that Glover would be able to do it too. But I think the difference with Thiago Santos was just that he was more powerful and crazy. So he probably was just blasting takedowns. I remember watching the fight with him versus Jamahal Hill. He was more blasting takedowns, more powerful, just nonstop crazy. Glover's a little bit more technical about it, trying to pump out the jab, trying to roll with the punches. So the fight played out how it played out, and Jamahal Hill's a new champion. Very happy for him. Yeah, he's going to be a problem for a while because if he can stop takedowns like that, like consistently, oh man, the whole division's in trouble. Even a guy like Jay Prochazka, because I love Jay Prochazka. He reminds me of like a Tony Ferguson, but in a light heavyweight version. But the problem is this. Jay Prochazka gets hit, and if Jamahal Hill is hitting you flush, you're going to go out. You know what I mean? Jerry Prochazka's been in some wars. He's been hit badly. So it's like, hey, it could go, and somebody might be like, what you mean Jerry Prochazka was in wars? Oh, when he fought Dominic Reyes, he did get badly hurt. He almost got finished by the up kick. So, taking damage like that in each and every single fight, it doesn't do you any favors. But nonetheless, that's how UFC 283 went. Betting wise, we had a terrible night betting wise. On a 15 pick, let's see what I went. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We went 10-5. Not bad at all. But the whole point is to go undefeated. We had some lock lineups we tried to make. That failed miserably. Yeah, all the other lineups failed miserably. I went 10-5 on my main lineup, so that's the best I could do. And DraftKings was an absolute failure. So we'll leave that for now. But it is what it is, man. We got to keep trying to get better. So let me know what you guys think about UFC 283. I think it was a great card. The Brazilian fans are not, or they're not it. They're not compared to like the London fans, like those type of fans. The London fans are way more into the sport now. I don't know what's good with the Brazilian fans. I'm not sure. I don't want to, make too much of it. But that's going to do it for the video, guys. Just give you all my thoughts on what happened. I'm sad. I'm tight. But I enjoyed it. The great nights of fights. 2 new champions. Brandon Moreno, Jamahal Hill. and a lot of great performances. Bonfim brothers showed out. The underdog got a win. One of them, at least, not the other, which was Davison Figueiredo. But great night of fights, man. I'll see you guys in the next coming week with, I think it's UFC Vegas. I'm not sure what it is, but it's Lewis versus Spivak. So we'll see you guys next week, or I'll see you guys next week with those picks and all of that great stuff. And y'all can just stay tuned for content other than that on the channel, man. Let me know what you guys want to see, and, you know, drop it in the comment section. And I got y'all boys, man. Peace.